All right, welcome everybody to Monday Night Team Call. I'm Jamie Haskin, Diamond Ambassador, and I am here with Emily Granat, Ruby Ambassador, new Ruby Ambassador last month. So we are excited, and it's fun to be able to do this together. So kind of in the same area for the first time in a while, so that is fun. And we are excited to talk to you guys tonight about the importance of sharing with people this opportunity just from the beginning. And I know a lot of times, like this is an important part to building our business, right? In terms of getting people on with the products and getting them sharing with the business or just sharing with some friends and family. But how does that look? And oftentimes I think that can look like maybe mentioning it one time and just brushing past it, or maybe not mentioning it because you think, oh, well, they wouldn't be interested. So what does this look like when we are looking at it in terms of basically dripping this business opportunity on people on several exposures, and not just doing it one time, but doing it multiple times and doing it with a purpose and intention, and pre-thinking about these things and the importance of this and how this can grow your business and help people get started off right from the start the right way. So let's talk about why this is important. And I think a big part of why this is important is, for one, we know that if people get started with like an accountability partner with something new, if they have a friend or family start with that, then they are going to stay on the products longer. Then they're going to have help with, seeing results and being consistent. So it's giving them an accountability partner. Getting people to silver, we know that if they do that, I think, I forget the statistic, but my Jewel coach told us this about even just our team in general, that if people get to silver, they had, I think it was an 80% higher chance of sticking on with the products long term. So silver development is huge. But aside from looking and giving it terminology and everything else, just helping people get somebody started with the products with them right away is good for retention and them staying on the products themselves. On top of that, it's also big for our business, right? We have products to offer, we have this business. So talk a little bit more about business opportunity and why that's huge for your business with this, right?
Yeah, I've always loved sharing about the business because that's really why I started. I started for a business opportunity. And then my results with the products were a happy surprise. But basically, that's why I started, and that's what I'm passionate about, and I love to share about it. I share from a place of being proud of network marketing, and I hope that comes across in my posts, and that's what I kind of focus on. And I really want to, I want to be able to help people in multiple different ways, just, from a product aspect and also from the business, because the business is absolutely equally as life-changing as the products, and it's something I'm proud of, and it's something I love to share about. So that's kind of the angle I take quite often when I reach out to people, and also in my post.
And it's not just us only selling a product and then it stays right there, right? It gets so much deeper than that.
Right. That brings up a good point. I didn't sign up to this to just sell products. I signed up to build a business, and to have that, I have to have a whole team of people. So to have massive momentum and things like that, you can't just be selling a product and just have a one-off type of a thing. You have to have a whole, team of people doing the same systems and the same things that you are doing.
Exactly. So when I look at this and I think about why, this should be talked about all the time, right? This is a huge opportunity. Bear with me. Okay. This is a huge thing we have, right? We got our products, okay? We got our opportunities. So we got to be talking about both, and this is an exciting thing. So why do maybe we not always talk about it? Or why do we maybe not bring up the opportunity with everybody? Maybe you're a person that does, and if you do, amazing job right there. You're after a good start. But sometimes it doesn't always get brought up. So kind of want to talk about what maybe holds people back from being bold about this or sharing with, every single person that gets started in terms of this opportunity and things like that. A big part of that, I think, is our mindset. and what we start off telling ourselves, or what we believe, or how we feel about this. So if we have that mindset where we are maybe thinking, well, that person's not going to be interested in this, so I just won't mention it to that person, or that person might get annoyed at me, so I'm just going to quick get them on the products, and I got a good, I got to join. So, okay, now I'm done, like they're good to go. I don't want to, rock the boat or something, whatever your mindset could be. I mean, I think it's huge in what we tell ourselves. Yeah. So that's a huge thing right there. And then if we are unsure, or if we are uncomfortable with it, or we, maybe are just nervous about it, that is a huge difference between being excited about it or proud about it. It totally changes our posture, and how we come across to people. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think people can sense your hesitancy a mile away. So if you're sharing from a place of being like hesitant and like not sure if they're going to want it, then they're going to sense that and wonder like what you're hiding. It's going to feel like you've got something hidden in your cloak. Like you want to share from a place of just being like excited, like, this is an awesome opportunity, and you want to share in a bold way so that they don't feel like you're ashamed of what you do. And, mindset is all wrapped up in there. And if you are ashamed of what you do or something, then what in the world is holding you back in that area? Because, what we have is amazing, and network marketing in general is amazing, and it's going, big places, and it's really the future of business. So sharing from a place of strong belief and boldness in that area is huge, in that people feel that, when that's what comes across to people.
And that's huge right there. So if we're missing that, it's a lack of belief maybe in, maybe just network marketing in general in this industry, or this company, or the products. I mean, we can build that. That's fixable. We can build that belief. When we were talking earlier, just talking about the passion behind network marketing and where this is going in the future, and all that. I mean, you were just even listening to you talk about it, it's like, yes, like this is something to be excited about.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that fires me up, because I can see a future with it, and I can see where just the market is trending that way. And I think we're in a great position to be on the front end of that, and it's an exciting thing to share with people. When you start to really believe in that, and you really start to catch the vision with that, and where you're going, people are going to want to come with you.
Definitely. So how do you get people to want to come with you? Well, we have to open our mouths and talk about it, right? We have to be able to talk about it, because otherwise we're not going to be able to offer anything. And again, going back to, we have products to offer, and we have this opportunity to offer, and we can't take away one or the other. We're not going to take away and say, oh, well, you wouldn't want these products, they don't work for you. We know by now that's not true, right? We know that this is for everybody and it can benefit everybody. Same thing with this opportunity. People need this opportunity or these finances and help in different areas just as much as these products. People are living paycheck to paycheck. They maybe need another stream of income. I don't care where you fall on that. People are not going to say, no, I don't need more money. Money doesn't grow on trees. In some form or fashion, people are going to benefit from having another stream of income, whether it's detrimental to their grocery bill at the moment, or whether it's looking at the future for their kids. Either way, they can benefit. So you have this opportunity. You guys, we can't take that away from somebody. Just like if you were a waitress and you were going to offer somebody coffee or dessert or whatever at this table, and you had an 8-top, you're not going to go and just offer it to 2 people and say, well, no, I'm not going to even ask the other people about this, because you aren't going to prejudge that, right? So it is not our right. It is not our place. It is not up to us to not offer this to somebody. That's us taking it away from somebody and saying, nope, you don't want that. You don't get this. That's not fair. That's not our place, right? We have this to offer. So we have to open our mouths and offer it to every single person. So don't be that person to take it away from somebody else, right? No prejudging going on here.
That's right.
So how do we do this? We're going to talk about, kind of break this down, because it's not just a one-time thing. And we were talking about this, and it was just, I think it's just been over and over in conversations lately. And I think this is so, so important. It's not just a one-time, I'm going to offer this opportunity. They say no, or they don't, they hesitate, and that's done. We're not done there. We have multiple exposures, just like people need multiple exposures to getting started with the products oftentimes. So same thing with offering the business on different levels. So we're going to kind of break this down. And a few months ago, or whenever it was, Emily had a big month. It was like 13 joins she had, but she had 8 people of those 13 start sharing that like right away. But that was intentional, you guys. So the big difference is not just loosey-goosey, oh, I'll bring it up here and there, or whenever it presents itself, or mention it once. It's intentional, thought out things to plan ahead of time, so you know that you are going to be bringing it up at these points. And you can plan that, and you can learn that, and you can strategize, and you can be intentional with that yourself. So Emily is going to kind of take away a little bit more specifically on different ways she has done this exposure, kind of dripping this opportunity to people throughout kind of that process.
Yeah. Well, the exposure process really starts for me in my sharing. So online. So like what I'm posting on social media is their first exposure. So people before I've even reached out to them have been exposed multiple times to different aspects of the business. And I try to share it in, kind of a storytelling way. And so just sharing my experience, my story with the business, different aspects of the business that have been a blessing to me. When I went to Leaders Retreat, I shared a lot about Leaders Retreat and, the blessing of that, and just the friendships and things like that, and also about the money, because people need to know. They need to know that we do this and we make money. And so that's part of the exposure process right there. And then
and we talked about too, in terms of the business, if you feel like it doesn't have to be like a one-time, okay, I'm going to mention like my whole business like testimony or all my favorite things about the business in one post. You can do that, but it's also like, she's so good at storytelling, but it's just grabbing one aspect of that, right? And sharing just one little part, and then share a different part that you love about it. And that can last forever. That keeps going, right?
Yeah, that keeps going. Exactly. It's the same as when we ask people to start sharing their journey with the products. When they start with the products, you want them to share right away, because then they're inviting their friends in on a journey that's going to continue to keep going. And it's the same way with the business. When you start sharing about the business, share about one little aspect of it, part of your story. And then as your story develops, keep sharing more aspects of it. You don't have to have this whole I started from here and now Plexus came in and then, I've made it. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be all one thing. It can be, Plexus was a blessing today because of whatever. I went to the grocery store and I got to buy organic food for the first time. It could be anything, but just, chunk it down into smaller pieces and share parts of your story so that people are intrigued and they want to come back for more. And then, from there on out, I'm going to be reaching out with the business. So that's another exposure. I quite often reach out with the business. But, say I didn't reach out with the business and I reached out with the products, and somebody, was wanting to join with just the products and they're just kind of wanting to get started. I anticipate a few things where I can share about the business again. So first of all, when, the cost objection comes up, that's my first cue to go into, telling them about how much money they could earn with it, or just I call it like the incentive for new people. So I'll say, well, Plexus offers this great incentive for new people. You can actually earn up to $422 in your first 2 weeks as an ambassador. And that's just with getting 3 people on board to do this with you. Can you think of anybody that you would like to do this with? And usually that gets the wheels turning a little bit, and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool, and then, for instance, if they joined and then...
Hey, can I stop a second?
Sure.
What I like about what you said about that, because we talked about that, the simple difference in tweaking like a couple words. So you said, any friends that you would like to do this with, which is different than saying, do you know anyone who would like to do this with you? That's very different. It's very, very similar, but it's different. So mention that.
I do that on purpose because, so when you say it, do you know of anybody that would like to do this with you? It sets them up for rejection, first of all. But also they might not know anybody that wants to do it with them, but they're going to be able to think of people that they would enjoy doing this with. So when you say, who would you like to do this with? Then they're going to think, oh my goodness, like I would love to do this with my best friend. It'd be so fun, you know? So it switches things in their brain just a little bit to where they're thinking proactively.
And everyone can have an answer to that, right? Yep. Everyone can say, oh, who do I want to do this with? That's an answer anyone can answer very easily versus, well, I don't know who wants to do it with me. I don't know. Maybe they would want to, but maybe not. Like it's totally just that tiny bit of difference. So I love that.
Right, exactly. And then, you know, as I get them on the phone and sign them up, we're going through the sign up process. I'm talking about the different things. We get to the social security number. They're going to ask me why I need that. So that's my next cue to say, actually,
and again, can I just say again, another reason why you need to sign up on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Because it's easier to have these conversations that she's just about to say if you are on the phone, and that builds a relationship. It's a million different good reasons why. But right here, right now is another reason for exposure for this business to be able to be on the phone and talk about this. Go on, sorry. I'm just going to keep interrupting you.
So we're on the phone. I say, hey, Susie, can you give me your social security number? I'm ready for that right now. And she says, oh, why do you need my social security number? Well, because actually you can earn a lot of money with this. And so if you earned over $600 in the year, Plexus would send you a simple tax form, and you could just send it to your tax people, and it's no big deal. But the opportunity is there for you to earn a lot of money.
So at this point, we've got exposure. She's seen her posts. We've got the talking about with the pricing before they join. Now they're joining on the phone and she's talking about it again. So this is constant, multiple dripping exposures of the opportunity. And talk about why you say you're intentional. Again, this is intentional stuff. So for one, she is not just like thinking, well, this will come up at some point. She knows these things will probably come up. So she knows ahead of time, I'm going to mention these things. But your verbiage is very intentional. So you said that you could earn a lot of money. So it's not just a little bit of money or a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Say why you're intentional in that.
I just want to come across as bold about that, because you can earn a lot of money with this. And so that's me telling them the truth about that. And, I'm just excited about it. I believe in people for it. And, when they sign up, I believe in the best for them too. And I believe that they can earn a lot of money with this. And it makes me excited to think about it. So that's kind of where that's coming from. But, a lot of times I hear people say like, oh, you can earn a little bit of extra money. When you use words like that and you say a little extra money or a little side hustle or whatever, you're minimizing what we do, and you're minimizing what they believe that they could get out of it. So if you are putting a cap on them before they even get started, it's just setting them up to fail. So I like to set the expectation out there that they can earn a lot of money with this. And, that opens up their mind to think, oh, maybe I could.
That's a big difference between kind of playing it small and really raising that bar for people from the start. And again, it's kind of going back to like what you're offering and whether you are taking that away and not offering it, or even but you can also play that into kind of like if you offer it, but only offer a little, like, oh, you can maybe just earn enough to pay for your products, or you can maybe do this. But if you offer the whole shebang, which we should be, right? We're not going to prejudge anybody, then you would use verbiage like that.
Yeah. And I used to say a lot, you could get your products paid for, and I still catch myself doing that, but I'm trying to kind of tweak that a little bit to where I'm offering this whole smorgasbord to people rather than just saying like trying to funnel them in a certain way before they've even expressed anything about that. Because I think that can really limit people before you've given them a chance, you know. Mm-hmm. So I want to offer them the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah. Exactly. Awesome. So then after they get signed up, how do you keep layering that?
Yeah. A lot of times I will just ask them, you know, if they would be interested in doing an online event. Or again, I will say something to the effect of, did you think of anybody that you would like to do this with? Or, you know, a couple days after they've signed up, I know that they have about 4 days-ish before their products are going to come in. And so I'm thinking, you know, in that time period, I'll follow up the next day or a couple of days later and say, oh, I'm so excited for your products to come in. A lot of times I do these online events for brand new people. It's just a fun way to learn about the products more and also to get a few friends on board to do this with you. What would you think about doing something like that? So I'll just pitch ideas to them over and over until they try it, you know, or until they give me a really hard no or something. So
what if someone does give you a no at some point or another along that path?
It's never a no for me. It's never a full on no in my own mind. It might be a no for them, but I just imagine someday they'll come around. So then I wait for a health victory. So maybe they're on the products for a month or two, and, you know, I'm checking back in with them at that point, and I ask them, you know, how are things going? What have you noticed so far? And we just get into it a little bit. Maybe they have more energy. Maybe they are sleeping better. And so then I'll ask more questions again and say, you know, what would you think about putting a post up about that? Or what would you think about, you know, if they're really not wanting to share themselves, sometimes I'll say, what would you think if I made a story in my Instagram about that and included your picture? Could I tag you? And I've had a lot of people say yes to that were not open to the business whatsoever. And so that was an interesting thing to try, but that really helped people like open up to sharing and, you know, realize that like they could make a difference with this a little bit. You know, it kind of shows them that their story means something. And so
it gives them a voice.
It gives them a voice about it. Yeah. So, and that feels a little safer to them for some reason, because it's not like on their Facebook. So that's a way that you can kind of like nudge people a little bit in the right direction. So,
and then what about your mom? You told me that statement and I loved
it. Yeah. So sometimes I'll just, you know, as I'm building a relationship with people, I'm hoping to have just kind of like a lighthearted, fun relationship with people and be able to like chit chat with them. So, you know, if they have a health victory or something and something comes up and they're loving it, I'm like, did you tell your mom about that? And, you know, I'll just give them examples of who they could ask about, you know, did you tell your sister? I know she has problems with XYZ. We talked about that before, right? And, you know, it's just, you know, kind of a lighthearted, friendly way of saying like, you should share that, you know, really should. So,
yeah. Which I think is so good, because it's not like I think so many times, like you said, you're building a relationship and it's a conversation, and it's just, it's that when you say it and kind of map it all out that way, it's natural, it's fun, it's exciting to talk about these things, right? It's not just one like, will you do an event? No. Okay. Now you're never going to bring it up again. And they don't want the business and all that stuff, you know, like it's a multiple dripping exposure process of what is possible here and what is offered. And it can be done in so many different ways and in so many different avenues, just to kind of get some exposure, whether it's just tagging them in a post or, asking, hey, did you tell your mom about that? No, I should tell her. Awesome. Yeah. Let me know what she says, you know, like, and just keep that exposure process going. Here's a question here if you want to take that one. It says, if someone says about sharing, which we get often a lot, is, if you ask them if they want to share and they say, well, I want to see my results first.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts about that?
There's a great video that Amber Miller did that's how to be the least salesy when you first start Plexus. And I've just stuck with that. That's been really effective, and it makes sense to people. And what she says is the least salesy time to start sharing Plexus is in the very beginning before you even get your products, because then you're just inviting people in on the journey with you. And you're going to give them your honest opinion from the day one. You're saying, hey, I just ordered these products. I'm super excited to try them. I don't know, what to expect, but I'm hoping to get XYZ or something like that.
Let's help my friend with XYZ. I'm excited to see what, this looks like or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're inviting them in on that journey, and then they're going to expect updates as you go. Mm-hmm. So then you're going to post updates, and every, few days or whatever in the beginning, or every day, talk about it and update people like, hey, I'm a month in and I noticed this and this and this happening. Mm-hmm. And that's a way to help them not feel salesy, but to just start sharing their story, mm-hmm. Which really is what draws people in anyway. It's mm-hmm. been said a lot that facts tell and stories sell. And it's true, because whenever you tell your story, it connects with people and they understand it at a different level. They see themselves in the story and they know what it could do for them too. And so that's just a more effective way to me to help people get started sharing.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of is another layer of accountability if they're being public, right? It's kind of like if you say your goals out loud, right? You're sharing something out loud, so maybe they'll be more consistent and they'll stick with it. And it's kind of another layer there. If you guys have any questions, you can pop them in the comments as we wrap this up. But what else was I going to say? Oh, did you want to talk about thoughts on posting in terms of the business, or the whole posting with a positive mm-hmm. aspect of it versus kind of some negative stuff that can, not negative, but it can kind of maybe be made that way. So we talked a little about this, but.
Yeah. So when you're posting, you're really conditioning the people in your market how to think about network marketing. So if you're posting about the negative, like being told no all the time, or dealing with skeptics all the time, or, people bashing it or whatever on social media, then you're conditioning people to believe that there's something fishy about what we do, and there isn't. And we know that, right? But they don't know that yet. And so when you post about those things, even if you're posting about overcoming them, you're still conditioning them and making them think like there's something up. So if you can post about it from a place of really believing and really understanding what network marketing can do and what we can do with Plexus and what our products can do, and sharing that excitement with boldness, it's going to condition your market to believe what we have is truly different, and how we do network marketing is different. That's what Plexus stands for. We stand for doing network marketing differently and how it should be done and usually isn't done. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think is really important with posting. You have to post in a way that's bold. You have to, believe in what we're doing, and that's going to come across to people and help them understand that it's an exciting thing. Mm-hmm. And that's going to draw people in.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of not offering a perspective that someone might not even have. Some people might, it doesn't mean it's not true. Some people might be skeptical or whatever. We're not, blind to that fact by any means, but it's offering that perspective with some people who might not even be thinking that way, and then it might create the doubt in there, or, oh, maybe I should start, look into this a little bit. Maybe I should be skeptical, or, just like with our products, we're not going to say like, oh yes, it may not work for this person or that person, but you should still try it because it works for us and for this reason, you don't create that doubt first. So same thing, I think it was just, you had some good thoughts about being bold and positive about that from the get-go. And, you know, you don't tend to see the skeptical side of things you were saying personally, and just kind of probably from a lot of the ways that you share too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't usually run into that too much, and knock on wood. But yeah, I haven't run into really skeptics or people that are, you know, worried about network marketing or whatever. So I think that part of that has to do with conditioning your market. So
yeah. And then we can wrap this up, but so we are working on this ourselves, right? And then we want to duplicate. So just a final plugin for duplicating this to your people as they start helping them do the same thing. And if somebody is doing these things or saying they're doing these things, but they're having trouble, there's a couple things that are super powerful. So 3-way chats, whether it's with potentials or obviously with new team members coming in, so you can be there to help and see things, but also just straight up ask, like, so say you have your team members and they're struggling in this area for whatever reason, you know, in terms of getting people to share or getting people to, I mean, this could go for anything, getting people to sign up, whatever it is. Ask for screenshots. Don't be afraid to ask for screenshots, because if they're doing the things or they're saying they're duplicating and whatever, but that's not producing the results or things aren't moving, then it doesn't hurt to take a look and be like, oh, okay, I mean, how many times we've done that before with screenshots, you know, just different things. And it's like, oh, if we just tweak this a little bit differently, let's try wording it, you know, just a little bit differently. And that could produce, you know, massive different results, you know, just depending on our verbiage. So duplicate down, ask for screenshots if people are struggling. That's a great, easy way to see where your team is at in terms of their verbiage and how things are being worded, or if things are being mentioned even, or how it's being mentioned, because we know our posture and what we think and feel can come across in our words. And so we want to make sure we're coming from that good place and identifying that if need be. So yeah, any other thoughts to wrap it up?
I think we covered pretty much anything or everything, but I guess if anybody has questions.
Yeah, if you have any questions, pop them in quick. Otherwise, I don't see any in here, I don't think. So, oh yeah, Lee Ellen said, have you told anybody about that? If they had a health victory, that's good. So cool. Great. Thank you guys. Thanks for plugging in tonight, and hope you have a good rest of your evening. See ya.
Yeah.